Alrighty, welcome back to the Lookout Podcast. Thanks for joining us. I have special guest Paul Barmore. Am I saying that right?
You're saying that right.
Yeah, Big Sky Flies, a metal artist. Is it just metal?
Yeah, just metal. I mix in a little woodworking as well. My dad is a timber framer, so grew up doing a little bit of woodworking and I do mostly metal though. Yeah, metal
Nice,
fly sculptures.
Dude, those fly sculptures are incredible. Anyone who's listening, I'm gonna give it a shout right now. Big Sky Flies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Check it out. You got two pieces of artwork at the airport here at Missoula. I'm trying to think of the name of the airport.
Yeah, Missoula Airport.
Missoula Airport. Yeah, I think it used to have a name. I don't know if it still does.
Yeah. Yep.
MSO is the indicator. I know that. But and more importantly, one of our friends, Tyler Keene, reached out. Shout out to Tyler.
Thanks
for connecting us. Because we're talking about trying to keep a damn data center out of the Blackfoot, man.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, we're not about it.
Yeah.
And so the way I got involved with this was I heard about data centers across the country and what they were doing and how residents were being impacted by them through their power rates and their water pressure and all kinds of stuff that didn't sound good.
Yeah, all of it sounds awful.
And I found out that they're trying to put one up in Bonner, and I just threw a little research and I went, well, what does someone do about that? And the first thing that popped up was, people write petitions about this. So I just got on a website, just said, okay, how do you write a petition? Figured it out, sent it off, didn't really think much of it, just thought, hey, let's see what happens. I didn't really know the process of petitioning anything, honestly, but we went for it, and then, it caught on naturally. I was kind of shocked no one else had written a specific petition for this data center. So, I titled it Reject All Permits for the Bonner Data Center, just to say, hey, like, every step of the way, me personally, I'm going to fight you guys on this, and if anyone wants to partner with me in doing that, sign the petition. And so far we got over 6,000 signatures as of today, so there's a lot of people behind this. Yeah,
I think everyone I know, at least in my small group, is signed the petition. I want to say my brother-in-law's longtime girlfriend Janelle, I think, sent me the petition, and then like a couple days later, I get linked up with you. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And it's like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that river runs through it. Norman Maclean's book and movie is all about the Blackfoot River, so there's not like a more famous river out there in the U.S. that I can think of, really. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stories about the Mississippi and stuff, but like a fly fishing movie that is an amazing movie with Brad Pitt, and they're going to try to park a data center on there, and like, It's not like this is going to be a harmless thing. Like, there's no way that doesn't increase the temperature of the water, because, I mean, the whole reason why they got to park next to a water source, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is to cool their shit, right? So like whatever the servers or whatever they got going on to run the data center, right? Because it's mostly for like AI, as I understand it. So like, where does that water go after it gets heated up, right? Like, it probably cycles through and then kicks back in the river, raise the temperature of the river.
There's they try to get you on this, that they call it a closed loop system, and just don't get me wrong, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm learning through my own research and everything, but I'm going to these Bonner meetings, council meetings, and trying to gain information, and they call it a closed loop system. They kind of mask it as something that doesn't require additional water, but it does evaporate. It's a hybrid system as well. It has, as far as they've told us, it has air cooling and water cooling. They need glycol in the water it's kind of like an antifreeze. It keeps it extra cool. What they don't really like talking about is something called blowdown, which I found out about is these pipes that they're running all this water and glycol through. They get clogged up with mineral deposits, all kinds of stuff, whatever's in the water, and then it's also
calcium.
Exactly, and it's getting hot and it's evaporating, and so then this gunks up the pipes. They blow these pipes out, and that is what's going into the ground, and the existing system, it's not like a sewer system exactly, it's kind of like a drain field kind of thing. I don't fully understand that, but basically this is going into the ground about 250 yards away from the river, and that groundwater, I mean, the way groundwater works is that these streams funnel into the river and to divert it into these systems, the water pumps in Bonner, and drawing from that excessively, as this data center would do every day, would kind of divert. It could potentially divert all those streams and create it creates a pool of water basically underneath there, and that's taking away from water that would otherwise go to the river. So anyways, again, not an expert on that. That's a really rough way of saying how that could go wrong, but that's a concern a lot of people have.
Yeah, totally. And so I guess it wouldn't be heating the river as I thought it originally, but like you said, even dumping it back into a system, I mean, it better have some really good filters, because you said like the glycol, where does it go? It magically goes back in the water and or into the
right in the
earth
ground,
and it stays away from other water sources. I mean, people kind of don't realize what the water table is either. I mean,
right.
When you have a well, you are probably in that same water table that your neighbor is, and the person down the street, and all these other people are in the same probably water table. And it's like, so if the glycol gets into that, everyone's drinking the glycol. It's like that's how that works. It's like So that's a bad deal. And then, like you're saying, just consuming water from the river and not putting any back in. Like, at least they're putting hot water back in. It would keep the level of the river up. But we already have a problem with the droughts in Montana and not having enough water come August. Especially end of August. Like the Smith River, when I went to float it, when I got a permit, I was beginning of the second week in July. It was so dry and so down, you couldn't float anymore. They shut down the permitting season. So like, I could have went and floated. I would have had to walk, but like, I could have floated. But because everyone's already irrigating their fields and stuff, so it's like we're already gonna like rob some ranchers too for like their irrigation, because then they're gonna have to shut their stuff down too. And like, it's just like it's really hard on the environment from that kind of aspect, from what I can tell, and the ecosystem that we've built in Montana, with like ranching and fishing and floating the river and all, all that part of it. And then also, polluting drinking water, which is definitely potential, it sounds like.
It's a potential, and it's something that they're not being open about. They're not being transparent about. They have no contingency on if this goes south. They have no plan for, say we hit a really gnarly drought year and it's summer and you guys are still pulling 1 million gallons a day, and that's going to affect the river, even though they can frame it as, we're not touching the Blackfoot, we're not pulling from it, we're not dumping into it. The water table is affected, or the river is affected by the water table. When you're pulling from all those underground, you're dumping water in there, and you're pulling from streams that would go to the river, you're affecting it directly.
Yeah.
So it's just very deceptive nature. That's what what I feel like my main job is to just point out what they're not willing to point out and say, this is what the public should know. This is what we should consider, if we want to welcome them in as a industry and a community member, it's the burden of proof is on them to say, we're going to provide something good for this community, not just take from it. And they haven't done that. They haven't made an effort to do that. They've basically, in my opinion, they're lying by omission and not telling us the truth.
Yeah.
So we got to do the work to bring that to light. And it's going to be up to 9 people in this Missoula County consolidated land use board. This group of 9 people that was not elected.
Great.
They were assigned by the county commissioners, and it's up to them if Crambu, the data center company, gets this special exception to come into our community. So,
who owns Crambu? Do you know?
Stephen Woods, I want to say.
Is it U.S. owned as well?
It is U.S. owned, and the whole. Okay, so this is another thing that we should talk about. Is the only argument I've really run up against people that say, well, maybe it's not so bad. We have a data center here because, hey, we're at war with China. Technically, we want to beat China in this AI war. Totally not the case at all. That if we build more data centers here, we're beating China, because these tech companies have been funding China's AI infrastructure for over a decade. Since 1998, Microsoft has been pouring money and resources into helping them build up their AI empire. So to frame it like we need to fight China, it's like no, this is a global economy like pursuit to expand AI and using these beautiful locations right by the Blackfoot River to house computers
Yes.
that eventually I believe they're going down the route of they're going to need nuclear power.
Yeah. Which,
Do we want a nuclear power plant near the Blackfoot River?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was on, fire assignment actually down by Russellville, or Arkansas, and like nuke. I want to say it was like nuke 2, maybe it was like nuke 1, but it was like the power plant there. It was huge. I mean, the cooling stack is massive, and it puts out a lot of, I guess it's condensed or like condensation, like water,
Oh,
like
sure.
evaporating water. And it's just not that beautiful to look at the horizon when you see this giant, cooling stack that's pouring out a bunch of what looks like smoke, but I guess, water, evaporating water, yeah, steam. And it's just not that comfort of a feeling being that close to something that's like putting out that much power.
Power and yeah, I mean,
And that and that's next to the river as well. So I mean, I'm pretty sure those things need water to cool as well.
yeah. Well, in my mind, this is just me, but my mind always goes to what's the worst case scenario here? What if this goes wrong? How do we react? How do
Mm-hmm.
we keep it clean and protect people in the area? And I don't see a lot of effort in that area to say, hey, we're prepared for that. It's more of let's put this in place, and when we run into problems, AI will fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a solution down the road in the future. The future has a solution,
Yeah.
Mr. Paul. Like, we don't have to worry about it here.
Yeah. And
Man.
that's where I've run into a lot of like just honestly condescension, and these people look down on the common folk as, well, you guys just don't know, you're not educated in this, please don't do your own research, you're going to get misinformation. And
Yeah.
I've had enough of that argument. I think that's ridiculous. I think
Oh,
that shuts down, that's someone trying to deceive you who's
oh,
telling you
totally.
that.
Yeah,
So
and then they start with an attack where it's like, "Oh, you simple country folk don't understand. Like,
mhm.
listen, let the adults talk, and we know
Exactly.
more because
Yeah.
this is our business." And it's like,
Yeah.
no, but you don't live here. Like, come over here and drink the water. Like,
Yeah.
I want that kind of proof. Like,
Exactly.
why don't you live next to it? Why don't you move in? Because it's not like that anymore. Like back in the day when you started a business, you had to live there because you had to help get it going. And now it's just like an expansion of whatever massive business you already have. So
Hmm.
you don't care. It's like, well, there's not much going on in Missoula, Montana. Like, look at this little podunk area. Let's park this thing here. And I mean, I just watched this fellow Max Morgan who is talking about the biggest data center. It sounds like estimated biggest data center going in near Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Oh,
And I can't remember the name of it, but I mean, it's just massive. Middle of nowhere where they're trying to stuff it. So they're like, oh, no one's going to care. And then they're like, well, the benefit is somehow it's almost going to work like lake effect snow, I think, because of the evaporation coming off of the data center. So it'll like cause more snow to land on Jackson Hole ski area. So there's like a benefit. So that's how they're kind of selling that one is like, well, there's a benefit. So you can go get more snow. And it's like, oh, yeah,
mm-hmm.
awesome. So basically what I'm hearing is all the super rich folks are going to be super happy. Well, like the common folk are, just dealing with whatever, consequences come off this thing or living next to it.
Yeah. And I'm not an alarmist, but this is pretty directly a wealth transfer
Yeah.
from people like us to people that own companies like this. And they're incentivized to expand too once they set up shop.
Yeah.
And this is something I found, again, doing my own research. Something called a TIF, and that's a tax increment financing. And so what that does, and this district is qualified where they want to put this data center,
Oh, convenient.
so that a company like Grambu can build out infrastructure they need for their operation, and they can do that as long as it benefits the community. Like, say, a community that needs 100 megawatts of power, if they want to build that out and say, oh, we need that for our company, but you guys could use 100 megawatts of power, right? And so they they pay the upfront cost, and then they're reimbursed by taxpayer dollars, where that money, it's not like a data center tax. It's that money you pay for taxes that could go towards schools and roads and other infrastructure that the community actually needs, now refunds Crambu for the infrastructure we never needed, that they
Didn't ask
needed
for. Yep.
to build this power plant to house computers, and add absolutely nothing to the character of the community. In fact, I would argue take away a lot from the character by, eliminating the possibility of any labor to be done in those buildings. I worked out there at Coaster Cycles back in 2018, 2019. It was an awesome job. It was super fun. Building rickshaws and like just super niche and interesting industry, and going down by the river, and there's wildlife. There's goats on the mountainside a lot of days, and ospreys, and you're like, this is so cool that like I'm working here and then I'm living right next to where I want to go recreate. And something like a data center, their employees are going to be security, keeping people away from the area so they don't destroy the thing because they're so pissed off it's there.
Yeah.
And that building is never going to be able to be used for people to actually work with their hands. It's just filling up a warehouse full of computers that are sending information back and forth that heats up the area, and they have to cool it with chemicals. And we go, yeah, come on in to our neighborhood. That would be a great addition. And no one's saying that. I haven't met anyone who feels that way. I've only met people opposing it for it, kind of saying, I don't think it's going to be that bad. But no one's saying it's actually going to be good.
Yeah, exactly. No one's like cheering it on, like, yeah, come on in. We welcome you. And well, it's just like we were talking before the podcast, like Charlie Barron's, who's a well-known comedian from the Midwest, Wisconsin to be specific, and I think he started off like the Manitowoc Minute was one of like the big like news things, and he's been fighting him in Wisconsin, and they just keep trying to throw him next to these beautiful lakes where like some of the folks that live there or are trying to live there have their little getaway cabin, and kind of same thing. It's like they spent their life savings or saved up, hard-earned money, on the sweat from their back to buy this little one-bedroom cabin or like one-room cabin on this lake to get away, and then their getaway is going to be like going to next to their damn data center. Like that's not what people want,
Yeah.
And they don't even get a vote on it. Like that's some shit.
They don't get a vote on it, and it lowers. I mean, I hate to say this, it will lower the cost, the value of your housing around there, and the quality of living. Like,
yeah, what a beautiful spot that is right there, man.
It's 24/7. Anything 24/7. I don't care what you're doing. If it's 24/7, it's going to be disruptive to some level, and regardless of like, oh, we'll keep the decibels down, the sound won't be like. It's just like they already went through this with the Bitcoin mine there. The people were like, this is too loud. That was all air cooled, given that, but the fans were running 24/7. They said we just can't have this constant noise. Yeah. And so we're going through this again. And yeah, these people don't have a vote. And I mean, lots of them are signing the petition. And I've spoken with many of them, and they know they don't want it. But they also, this is all new to people. Like, we're having to get educated as we go. And another point is that all this tech that, like, all these people are trying to learn about and say, okay, maybe it's not that harmful. It's all going to be obsolete in like 3 years, and they're going to re-up it to another system that we didn't approve. But once they're in, they don't have to approve it. So
Nope.
I just say no to all this. Like, I'm happy to kind of debate with people if it's like, is this a healthy system? Like, again, I'm not an expert. I can tell you why I think it's bad, but at the end of the day, they're making this proposal for this one small data center, but what they plan to do is expand. So all these numbers you can just throw out the window.
Yeah.
Like, they promise they're going to take only this much water. I mean, I don't think they even gave us a number. I think they're even just saying we don't know how much water we're going to take.
Yeah.
So it's all such an illusion to keep people questioning while they push this through as fast as they can.
Yeah.
So the course of action we have right now, sign the petition if you haven't. Go read it, and I put some more info on there so that people can kind of get educated and then hopefully like head the right direction to learn more if they want to, but understand why this is bad, why we don't want it. And then this July 1st meeting, like we need to show up as many as we can, as many as people are available, because I guarantee you they're going to claim, no, there are some people that do want this data center. And it's like, where are they?
Yeah,
Where are they
exactly.
at? They're not here. They're not doing anything about it. We've got a good group of people doing stuff about this.
And if they do show up, I want to know their address. Like, are they really
Well,
from here? Like,
yeah.
you get that going on once in a while. You bring your own, folks to rally. you know?
Yeah, I mean, and if you're out there, people that want the data center here, come talk to me. Like, I'm not.
I'd love to hear that.
I want to hear your best argument as to why,
What
it's
the benefit
good
is for us.
Yeah, whether it's economic or whatever it is, it's like, please come at me with that, and I'm happy to talk to you. But
And unfortunately, like we've been, we've had it before. I mean, even like fracking's had some issues, and with groundwater, and then the most recent thing that has really been, I don't know, just I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, but it's pissing me off, I guess is the best way to say it. I was trying to say it in a more nice and articulate way, but the copper mine going up in the boundary waters.
yeah.
It was opposed by pretty much everybody, and then still it got approved. Like our elected officials who were elected by the people aren't listening to people, because if they did, they wouldn't be in there. Because I guarantee 90% or more of the American citizens did not agree to having a copper mine next to the boundary waters, which is the most visited wilderness, I believe, in the U.S. So like, no one is pro copper mine up there, especially when none of it benefits us. Like, so it's a Chilean mine, I'm pretty sure, that is putting it in there and mining the ore, and then the ore is going to China. So where's the benefit for the U.S. citizen besides polluting one of the most beautiful places on the planet? Like in a place where many generations have recreated and still want to. It's like, so I'm already a little, mad about that. And then it's like, so all these other beautiful places are going to have something planted into it that no one wants,
It's textbook exploitation. I mean, it's just clear as day. And that's, again, like we were saying earlier, this is like not your average group of activists who are doing this. Like, I'm a very, I don't know how to say it, reclusive guy. I'm like, I'm not a hermit, but I have my own business so that I'm just like in my shop doing my thing. I do not get involved with stuff like this.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm a knuckle dragging, wildland firefighter, dude. I don't,
I mean, it's like, there's something to be said for just like staying in your lane and like, putting your own house in order before you go out trying to fix the world. But this is so obviously, like you said, I mean, or like I said, textbook exploitation. And it's just like such a no-brainer. It's too beautiful to do this here.
Yeah.
You got cutting edge technology that's experimental. Take it elsewhere, please. Not here in Montana. Like, we're not grounds for any of this new technology and all this stuff that you want to test out and innovate on our soil. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd think we'd have more value in that, like some, where there's good, clean drinking water. Like, let's not pollute that, because, imagine a lot of places where there are some cities and stuff that you probably can't drink the groundwater in those areas,
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't you plant it there,
Yeah. Just preserving the state of things how they are now. I mean, it's a delicate balance with the river and like I was saying, I worked next to a beautiful area, and it was in coexistence, not affecting each other. Like, it was just like, it's a nice balance. We got it. A lot of that has been figured out, especially here in Missoula, where we went too far with industry, with logging, with the paper mill. It's like, we've learned our lessons from, okay, although
Yeah,
we can make a lot of money and the economy here can boom, it's not worth trading this resource of wildlife and beauty and nature that we're preserving here.
Yeah, and like you said, man, we've already had a couple super fun sites. Like there's that one more on the Clark Fork, but it's right next to Bonner. When that was a super fun site for years, man. They cleaned it up and it looks really nice now. But then also, like you said, the paper mill, Smurfit out there, there's still those cesspools of whatever contaminants in there that's very close to the river. And every time the river floods, they're worried that the levee's going to break and then that's going to get in the river. And so we still have that sitting out there, from years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, why we don't need a third. Like, we don't need one more, potential super fun site,
Well, and I will say, like, I get the argument from those other sites of like, well, this is providing income for families in the area, but still the trade-off wasn't worth the risk. But like a data center, it's like, so you're going to provide maybe 10 jobs and those are going to be security and and people maybe managing whatever the systems inside, but like there's no benefit to that.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Argument.
Yeah, it's not like a mill, like you said, like like a logging mill where you're bringing in a bunch of locals. It's like you said, the experts running the data center, keeping things going. They're probably coming from somewhere else, and the security folks too. Maybe they're gonna buy some houses, so you got a handful of people buying some homes, and I could probably afford it more than some of the locals. So that doesn't help at all. And I've been with the Forest Service for almost 20 years, so it's like I've spent a good portion of my life, protecting public land. And it's like, man, like the last year has just been like brutal on us, like trying to have sell-offs in this mine on the boundary waters and data centers. It's like, man, like it's hard to sit by and just like, watch it all take place, man. I worked my ass off too much to to protect these wild places, man.
Yeah, how old are you? 20 years?
Yeah, man.
Dude.
You want to take a stab at it? I know, like it's the lighting, man. It's a little dim in here. You can't quite see the wrinkles.
You can't be. Are you 40?
I'm 40, man. Right at 40, bro.
I nailed it. 40.
You nailed it, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Good for you. Because
thanks,
my dad is a volunteer firefighter in Gallon Gateway for 20 years.
No way.
And he's still kind of like he's mostly retired, but he still goes on calls. But yeah, I always looked up to him for doing that and like really giving back to the community in the way that he thought like he was most effective.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And that's I was talking to him about this earlier today actually, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm trying to stop this data center. I don't know. I think it's the right thing to do, and I'm just gonna see what happens. But I mean, I don't know. I'm more and more dissuaded from thinking we can vote our way out of anything, and that, I mean, honestly, it's easy to just think the system's broken. I try not to do that, but that's why we're giving this a real stab, and we're saying like, let's get the people's voice heard.
Yeah, man.
If it's up to them if these these board members are going to listen or not. But we're doing we're working democracy and seeing if it still works.
Yeah, totally, man. And like, we're not going to go away. It's like, if it gets approved, which hopefully it doesn't, and it shouldn't, but if it does, man, we'll do an appeal. We'll figure something out. There's going to be some steps. It's not just going to be like, well, we gave it, we gave it our shot. It's like, nah. It's too important, man. The Blackfoot's too amazing. Like I said, there's a movie about it,
There's I'm planning on fighting them every step of the way. And just, that's why I was like, I think it's going to be in permitting, that they're going to try to like move forward and kind of make little of it as they go along. But really it's like every step is one step closer. And then all of a sudden the floodgates open.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can confidently say like, yeah, we're going to give it a good shot. But this is not US versus China. This isn't like Luddites versus technology. This is just Montanans versus corporations who want to use the land and not give anything back to the people.
Dude, and it's a story almost as old as this country, man. I mean, that's what Teddy Roosevelt was all about, and he was fighting it back then. And you kind of thought, like, after his time when he was able to establish national parks and, Yellowstone and all these beautiful places, to preserve all these beautiful places, Yosemite, that we all would have agreed as a populace, like, hey, like, let's just leave the beautiful places beautiful, right? Let's do that. And I think for the most part we do, right? I would say like most of the U.S. citizens, probably like damn near 99%, are like, yeah, man, like, why are we messing with something that awesome, Like, I want to go live like Brad Pitt in the river, like, And I mean, there's nothing but better. That's the one thing, dude. Like, there is not really money can buy like these like peaceful moments. Like you said, working for that place over there.
Coaster pedicab, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, man. Like, and like maybe taking a break and just going and skipping a rock, man. Like, there's just that a minute of like connection with the river and your surroundings, and noticing like a mountain goat or you might have seen, or sheep, and just being like, oh yeah, dude, all right, and then getting back after it, like that's a great feeling, man. And or just going out and getting your line wet, out there in the river. Like, not too many people get to experience that, but they can, because they can come out to Montana and do it,
Yep.
And
as long as we preserve it, and I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. It's so unique.
And once it's gone, man, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt a real like, this is what stewardship means, is like keeping the wolves, from getting in. They're at the door right now. This is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a constant battle. I mean, that's the reminder, right? Like it doesn't rest. Like, because like I said, my hope and it would have been that Teddy Roosevelt was able to like put a stop to it. And I mean, he did. He put a big dent in it, but it's he left it up to us to continue the fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's incredible to have national parks. Period. Like, that's so, just the thought of like, just don't touch that.
Yeah.
Back then is so awesome, and just we need to keep that perspective. Otherwise, we will lose what we have now. And I just am so encouraged by all the people that are doing work. Like, I wrote this thing and I put it out there, but I didn't know where it would go. I had no clue, and just seeing people grab this and run with it. And one of my buddies was out at Maggot Fest the other week, got like 300 signatures just walking around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is just, once people know, they're not usually timid to get involved, because they're like, yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And the only thing we have found is that businesses, local businesses, I kind of was hoping we could get more endorsements through them and have them back us up, but I understand that local businesses have a hard time getting political, and that's totally, that's their prerogative, and I understand that. I used my business personally because I own it and I can, and I thought, I'm in the fly fishing industry. Like, if that goes away in my region, I have to move.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm kind of, in my own way, I'm trying to protect the river and protect this industry, and and give back to something that's given so much to me. I grew up less than a mile away from the Gallatin River, and that was my whole childhood, was going out there and running around and just being free.
What a spot.
And
right down the road from me in Whitehall. So,
oh, really? Yeah. I was in Gallatin Gateway. Yep.
God, what a spot, man.
Yeah, beautiful.
But it's it reminds me of like the old Dr. Seuss book, The Lorax. I mean, the character was speaking for the trees, because the trees don't have a voice, right? I mean, that's kind of like this, like the fish can't come up and say like, hey, like we like all the water, like
at this temperature.
Yeah, please. At this temperature, exactly. Yeah, like, and it's up to us. Like, it's like you said, being educated humans and being able to do the research and know, like you said, the temperature that fish prefer, and especially the amount of water and the food and all this stuff, man. I mean, like, once we're given that information, there shouldn't even be like an option. It's like, no, like, we don't mess with that,
Yeah, and that comes with the, growing up here, or just coming here from somewhere else and learning about this place and learning why you want to live here. Is like, it gives you this natural education of, oh yeah, we got to protect this. This is like the thing here is it's not just the environment, it's the balance of the ecosystem. And yeah, humans should be able to thrive here, of course. Yeah. But no, we treasure this place for what it is. It's the last best place. And so for people to come in who don't live here with enormous amounts of money, I mean, it's crazy, and that's why that's why these things are moving forward quickly against the will of people across the country, is that there's a lot of money behind this at the end of the day, and they know how to do the legal loopholes. And so our job is to say, you guys don't know our values. Montana values are to protect this place, And if you're not willing to show that you're going to do that, not willing to show you're prepared for disaster and how you're going to react to that, you're not a good partner in that. You're not a good neighbor. And yeah, the lie of omission is real. And if people lie, people steal.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because
So,
they're willing to do that, right? Like once you're willing to do one thing, you're like, why can't? It's pretty easy to do another thing, right? Like,
yeah.
man, yeah. And how do folks get involved? Like, what's a good way to just petition and just speaking out? I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you can link the petition in the description or something, but otherwise, it's on my Instagram, Big Sky Flies, and then it just look up reject permits for the Bonner AI data center, and sign that. Also, we got a lot of great resources around Missoula. MEIC is a great organization helping educate people. Ben Catton, he's actually part of the data center watchdogs in Montana, so he's a great resource.
Nice. I'm glad they
Check him
exist.
out. Yeah, and
because I think people got to realize, there's all these like things that are getting repealed and going away. Like the roadless rule, I'm still not real great on, but I mean, it doesn't seem like a good thing to repeal the roadless rule, and it feels like it's going away. So it's like stuff like that. Like, I mean, originally it seems like it's a great idea to have the roadless rule, like in.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Roadless rule. So
Roadless?
there's roadless areas, like designated roadless areas, and so the reason why they want to put roads in some of these areas is, as far as I understand, is to expand logging.
Okay.
Where like like hell logging isn't really feasible and be easier to put a road in. Problem is it affects a lot of other things, and then the roads have to be maintained. I mean, there's a lot of decommissioned roads from old logging when we used to log a lot more, and then it affects the streams and the water and all the things like the fish habitat because of that too. Like there's just a lot of sediment, a lot more sediment that gets poured into our water sources, because for folks who don't know, but, and you probably know more about this than I do even, but, when you have a hillside with vegetation, it holds the soil pretty much. Like it shouldn't go anywhere unless the fire comes through, and then that's when you have mudslides, and then that ends up in the river, and that's real bad. So this is like we're plowing in and we're taking away the vegetation and having a road. You have a lot more runoff and sediment that ends up in the water sources just naturally because of that, because it's just bare soil typically you're driving on, dirt road. It's, at least as far as I understand, it kind of makes sense to me. Hopefully I'm explaining this right.
Yeah.
Probably not. I feel like when I explain these things, I just am like the dude from that Anchorman show where he's just like, loud noises. Like when I'm like trying to, stand up or something, I'm just like in the background yelling loud noises the whole time. But yeah, it just,
too, man.
yeah, it just doesn't sound good, So I'm like, I don't know about this roadless rule thing. I haven't heard a good argument on the other side. I've heard most people just, like Montana backcountry hunters and anglers, like they don't like it, and a bunch of other folks that fought like Wild Montana and stuff.
Yeah.
So they seem to be against it. So and my values align with those guys. So I'm all about keeping the sacred places sacred, man. Like once they're gone, they're gone. Like it doesn't come back. Like,
Yeah.
There's some of those beautiful places in the world, and fortunately, being a smoke jumper, I got to go into these places. I got to parachute into the Bob Marshall Wilderness in places that a lot of people haven't gotten to go, And
Wow.
I got to see it, out of the plane window and then under canopy and then hiking around it for like 3.5 weeks. Like it's amazing. It is so amazing. And the fact that it could go away someday just, man, it frightens me and it pisses me off at the same time.
It should.
Yeah, like it's awful, man. I want the next generation to see what I've seen, man. Like I want my kids to be able to see like through the same eyes that I got to see it, or through the same lens, right? I don't want them to be floating down from Johns Rood, which is up to Blackfoot, past the damn data center, and wondering like, man, it feels like someone pissed in the fucking water right here.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we both have kids. It's like we're invested in this place to a different level than, especially more than these people that want to put this data center in.
So many people moved here with that kind of like, sense of new, sense of adventure and sense of like, yeah, this is a place where I want my kids to be,
It's such a thing too that like Montana is almost like not even part of the United States. Like, it is, and I'm a proud American, but I'm like, this is a sanctuary kind of away from all the what I would call the experiment of the United States. Like, each state does its own thing. Ours is to just, I mean, to maintain what we have and then learn from that. And like, that's really where our perspective comes from, is like, we're good stewards here, and we're outside, we're in the world, we work with our hands, a lot of us, and we use our bodies to travel around this area because it's so beautiful, and it beckons us to do so. And to come in here with different morals and different ways of living, it does take away from that in saying that, this is going to make your economy boom, and this is going to be good. And it's like, no matter what your promises are, whatever corporation is promising you these things, do they share our morals? Do they share our way of life? The answer so far I've seen from Cranboo is no.
No. Yeah, 100%, man. Like, they don't care. They don't care if, like, all these wild places go away. Like, their food still shows up, man. They still go to their favorite restaurant and, pay $100 for their steak and enjoy it every night or whatever it is, man. I'm just guessing. And where they don't see where it comes from. I'm looking at the fucking cow they're eating, Like, that's that they're too ignorant to even care, or they don't want to care,
No.
It's like, you love a good bison from Ted Turner. Yeah, guess where that fucking comes from? Over by Bozeman, Like, and all these rich people fly into Bozeman and go up to the Yellowstone Club or Big Sky. It's like, you're stopping at Ted Turner's restaurant down there in downtown Bozeman. Yeah, guess where that bison comes from? Like, my brother's a veterinarian. He was just checking for brucellosis before it became a steak. Like,
yeah, wow. Yeah, that's another thing I'd like to say is, like, where I'm coming from. Yeah, I grew up in Gallon Gateway. That was just near the mouth of the canyon going up towards Big Sky and the Yellowstone Club. And, we constantly hearing stories of Yellowstone Club is dumping their sewage in the river. And we're like, what can we do about it? Oh, well, we'll put up laws so that they get heavily fined for that. And they go, well, it's more expensive to fix this than to pay the fine. So we'll just pay the fine, and then problem solved.
Yep.
And that kind of thing that taught me what someone with a lot of money can do. And those kind of corporations that act that way, those are the wolves, those are the things that come in to take, the things that come in to exploit. And I've seen this before. This is exactly what Cranboo is. This is every data center company. Like, find me an example of where it goes well, because that's one thing I'd like to bring to the attention of this land use board is compare this to another data center that's comparable, please, and tell me how it's going there.
Yeah.
Something, I think Jenny Dixon brought up a data center in Washington possibly, but I want to match like as many details as we can match up to another data center. And then say, okay, if that's going to happen here, this is what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone in Cranboo wants to talk about that because they know how it's going to go. No one around the country is happy with a data center coming in as a neighbor.
Yeah.
Like, it's just horror story after horror story. So I implore people to go just click it into YouTube, do whatever you got to do your own research, check it out. Go look at the testimonies of other people that have lived near these things. It's like very bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not like they're like, wow, it's crazy. Like, life just got better all of a sudden. Like, you won't believe it, but gas prices went down when this data center went in, and like, all these like domino effect of awesome. It just happened all of a sudden. Like, groceries are cheaper and air is cleaner. Like, it's not like none of that happens, right? And it's like. It's usually these companies are so big and they're bringing so much money for this. It's like, yeah, fine, it's whatever. When you're like, we'll give you a blank check and you just let us know what it's going to cost to make this problem go away. Like,
exactly.
Like, oh, awesome. So yeah, you just keep polluting the river or whatever the consequence is, and or the air. And the problem is too is like, doesn't sound like they're doing anything with the air quality. Like, it's like they're not going to affect the air quality, but like if they do. I mean, you've seen the inversion in Missoula. Like,
inversion.
Yeah, all winter long, on and off, I guess, there's an inversion in Missoula. So the air just hangs over town. So if somehow this thing's doing anything off-gassing, I don't know if it will. I have no idea how this thing works. But, you know, like what happens then? Like people
Yeah.
just gotta suck that air in all winter because this stupid thing's out there.
Well, it definitely will get somewhat trapped in that little valley in Bonner,
Yeah.
and it's honestly, I've people have told me it can create a micro climate right there because of so much heat coming off of it.
Also, I was thinking, didn't you say like evaporates is like part of the cooling
Right.
process?
It's evaporating some of the water, which is what they have to replace. And again, they can't give us any numbers on how much or how often they have to drain these tubes or whatever. But
Is glycol in this water that's evaporating? You know, it's like it's not just water, right?
well, that's another thing. Is that the gunk that gets after the water and glycol evaporate, it does leave a sediment, and that's just like super concentrated chemicals and whatever is in there, and that's what they're putting in the groundwater. And so if you plan on being in business for the next 10 years and you're running 24/7, how much gunk are you putting in the ground?
Yeah,
No
man.
one knows, but those are the questions that they need to answer, and someone needs to hold them accountable. Like the people we're trying to do that right now, but this board, if they don't do that, they don't have to answer to anybody. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. We definitely need all hands on deck for this deal, man. And yeah, like you said, why do they have to be here? Why do they have to be anywhere in the U.S.? You know, like if we're,
Yeah.
you know, like Microsoft with China, and I mean, I'm pretty sure Apple is like a lot of their stuff's produced in China too. So it's like, then we're not really fighting them, right? If we're working with them, then
Not at all.
why do we need data centers that are going to rival their data centers? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Nope. Yeah, that's exactly right. It does not make any sense. That argument's invalid. And
And AI seems to be working pretty fine right now. Like, there needs to be a better version. Like, what are we trying to like?
well, hey, I don't want to get into too many of my theories, but I think that the government is incentivized to make data centers go through, to say the least. Like, I think that they are somewhat invested in this going forward. I can't speak on that, but it's just a hunch.
Well, it just seems that the way it's getting shotgunned out across the country, right? Like,
Right.
Like I said, Charlie Barron's in Wisconsin, Max Morgan in Wyoming, like us here in Montana, and that other person you said out in Washington. It's like they're showing up like everywhere. Like, why? You know?
Yeah, and all at once too. Like I was overwhelmed by the amount of data centers going in Montana alone, and it almost made me. It's like as soon as you step into anything political or public like that, you're like, gosh, there's so many problems in the world. Why should I even try to tackle one? But I thought, this is right in our backyard. Let's, we're downstream from it. We should do something. But I can't tackle every single data center in Montana. I want to, but I wrote the petition specifically for this because I knew it had to be so specific. But no, I don't want them any. I mean, I try not to come to a problem without a solution. And so this is my best shot at it. I say all data centers in the U.S. should have to desalinate water. They should be on the coast. They should have to do the work to desalinate. And that's a natural tax on their operation because they're water guzzling machines. They need it 24/7. If you need that much water, you got to do the work to harvest it out of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's our abundance. Don't come to the Blackfoot River. I mean, the audacity.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and
It's just baffling.
Yeah, and you're dealing with a limited supply, right? We're working with runoff, so it's whatever we got in the snow, snowpack, and so it's not like with the ocean where they're the polar ice caps are melting, which probably isn't good. But I just saw something the other day about them worried about California flooding in however many years. There's always like this thing where it's like, California's going to be underwater. But if that's the case, maybe they need a data center or all the data centers. And like I said, I don't want California to go, to get shit on either because I really love California. It's got some of those beautiful places in the planet. All on the coast is pretty awesome in Cali. So I don't want them to get shut on either. But like if it's gonna keep them from getting flooded out, that's probably not gonna be enough. If the sea level's rising that much. But I mean, Can't hurt, you know?
Don't get me started on my pole shift theories, man.
Yeah, oh man. Just keep going down the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, well,
It's
yeah.
supposed to be like the Lookout Podcast After Dark version.
Yeah, suspicious observers.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's it, man. We're gonna start doing the midnight podcast.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah, I've thought about it, man. Like one of my friends, he's like, dude, you do like the one for Patreon or some, subscribers only, and you call it the Look In podcast. And I was like,
you got something there.
Yeah.
That's good. I like
Suspicious
that.
observers.
Well, that actually is already one.
Is it?
Yeah, he's dude watching the sun who's like, I think it's gonna shift, the pole shift. I'm like, I stay out of that world for the most part, but I am like, humans expect, or at least modern humans expect everything to stay stable, just like this forever. We're in an eternal summer. I don't know. I mean, it's just not likely that that's going to be forever. So who knows what could happen?
Yeah, historically, there's been events, right, man, over the, even just our lifetime. But I mean, like, something made the dinosaurs go away.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, even something like a power outage. I was really interested in this years and years ago, but how do you survive a power outage? And that's relevant to this data center, honestly, because some of them have caused rolling blackouts. And
imagine the summer when there's a bunch of ACs running and stuff,
Exactly. And then another problem is that if there was a blackout or something like a solar flare where the grid was stressed, the data center pulling all that power, for one, it's priority. It's going to be the last thing on. And for two, I mean, what's their plan for if something like that does happen? Are they going to shut down to give other people power? Like, that's not the attitude I'm kind of picking up on.
No. It's like, good luck, peasants.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's just, I don't get the feeling that they're planning on being a helpful asset to the community in that kind of situation.
I guess even that, like you said, man, if they're bringing some benefit, even like that, like, hey, listen, like, we got to build our own power plant to, like, get this thing cranking. It takes a lot of juice. But, we're going to overbuild this sucker. So, like, if something does happen, some weird event, like you said, solar flare, EMP, whatever, we got the secure system. We got it plugged in. Like, Missoula's going to have power. You guys be good.
Honestly, that's the best argument I've heard for these things.
Oh, really?
And I don't hate that. I mean, I don't love it, but
I don't like it either. It's not enough for me, but like at least it's something, right?
That's something. I mean, that's appealing in a way, because you're like, that's a rare thing. I don't know many cities that would have a backbone of power like that to be like, hey, we could provide power in that situation.
Yeah.
Interesting. Not something they've brought to the table, but
no, it'd be so expensive, and they probably have to like put it underground or something, so it'd be like secure and EMP proof or solar flare proof or whatever, so it'd have to be insulated somehow and
Faraday cage that sucker.
Yeah, Faraday cage. Yeah, something crazy, and but the thing is too is like we are pretty smart humans, man. Like I feel like. We're talking about colonizing the moon, so then we can go colonize Mars. Like that's like a plan, right? Someone's working on that right now. Why the hell do we have to have a data center in these beautiful spots? Like really? Like we couldn't just go out in the desert somewhere and, manufacture a better power source and a better cooling system to be in the middle of nowhere where no one wants to be or no one does live,
There is an interesting, and maybe this is an after hours part too.
Oh yeah, I like it.
It is interesting. Looking at the map of where data centers are, like, why are they all so spread out? Like in Ohio, they have that huge cluster, and it does benefit them to cluster in a smaller sense, like in the localized area. But like, a whole desert field or something, that would make sense. Yeah. But you look at the map and they're all inland. None of them are on the coast, and that's in China too. And they're all kind of almost evenly spread out. And you're like, what's the strategy? Like, I know this is not all one company, but like, is there something about that that's important? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just a dude in Montana who's watching this go on and going, I don't know, but
throwing sticks at it.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's I'm not an authority. I don't just take my ideas and ponder them, but don't take them as truth.
No, but this is all like food for thought for listeners, for you folks listening. I appreciate you. But like that's what the podcasts are supposed to be, right? It's just a bunch of regular dudes talking about like concerns in life, man. And this is a big one because, like you said, like most people, or like I said, I guess most people moving to Montana are moving to have a better life. It's expensive to live here, and so those of us who are sticking it out, who are from here, we're sticking out because it's fucking worth it. You know, like
exactly.
I could go to goddamn Iowa or something. I think I saw on a recent map that it's got some of the cheapest housing, but I don't live in Iowa. It doesn't have the same opportunities for me and my family. You know, it's like I don't know if my kids are gonna become smoke jumpers, but there ain't no smoke jumpers in Iowa. You know.
They got the opportunity here.
Yeah, exactly.
to
You know,
try.
like they can do a lot of similar shit that I got to do that I would recommend. That is awesome. You know, like I got to live a pretty awesome life. Like I'm very lucky that I got to be in Montana, you know, or do all the things I get to do. You know, here talking to you, man. I'm really lucky I get to help spread the word about this.
Yeah.
But you know, so in the big picture of things, it's like let's not, you know, fuck up beautiful things. You know? Like.
That should be a bumper sticker, man. That's perfect. Because, we're invested in a different way. Like, we both understand the value of this place and how that gives a kid such an awesome childhood, to be able to run around, be able to just explore nature and learn, like, honestly, just learn how this whole universe works by watching the bugs and the animals and just being like, wow, it's such a mystery, but also I can kind of understand it and exist with it and be part of it.
Yeah.
And
well, then the rhythms and cycles of life, like you were saying, that a data center throws off in its own way. I mean, that's a big stick in the spokes right there of, you know, the little ecosystem there. Like we were talking about the heat earlier and the possibility of leaching into the river, all the things, right? Because you see it, like, I think in as Montanans, we have a rhythm to our lives. Like I was doing a campfire safety class recently to middle schoolers, and we were talking about, are all fires bad? You know, like that's my opener, because it's like it's kind of a attention getter, and it's crazy because most kids are so educated right now on wildfire. They're like, no, and I was like, yeah, why? And then they tell me, and they most of them know about prescribed fire and that good fires prevent bad fires. It's incredible, man. I'm like so jazzed when I see that, because like when I first started in fire, I don't think people knew that.
Yeah.
Hell, I don't even think I really understood it when I first got into fire, you know, and back in '08. And so it's so awesome to see that, right? And then, so then that led to my next question. I'm like, what comes after fire? And they're like, you know, saplings. I'm like, oh yeah, saplings come after fire. What else? And they're like, grass. I'm like, yep. And what's like really directly after fire? And like one kid even knew. He's like, biochar. He didn't say exactly biochar, but I was like, yeah, what's biochar good for? You know? And they're like, well, I think it's good for soil or something. You know, like this kid was with it. I was like, dang, your folks must do something, you know, environmentally. He's like, yeah, you know, like the biochar, you know, after fire comes through is good for the soil. And then what do we pick after a fire comes through? And that was a little bit more of a head scratcher, but like throughout the groups, throughout the day, I had a handful of kids be like, mushrooms. And I was like, yeah, morels come up, right? So that's like my cyclic nature that I was kind of talking about, like this, you know, rhythm of life. We have morels, we go out and pick in the spring, right? That's what in Montana we do, right? And then what we do in the fall, or not fall, like late summer, huckleberries, right? So we got this cool like rhythm of things that we do that we get to, that is an excuse to go out in nature. Spring, we're hunting, you know, horn hunting, you know, and then you're trying to get in the river before runoff, and then you got a little bit of lag where you're waiting to get back on the river, and you're you know, going around the hatch, right? Like all these things that are connected, right? And we're bringing in something that's gonna like sever some of those connections, possibly, right? I mean, that's the thing that we didn't even talk about either, like insects and stuff. Like if this thing's humming all damn day and night, I that's bound to affect something, I imagine. You know,
it definitely does. Yeah,
on a smaller level that we don't even realize. You know.
Well, and you just put it really well. Is it like nature informs us here? We observe, and then it tells us this is the time of year you do this, and it's a beautiful thing. It's like it's so cool and unique to be part of that system and to realize, I'm part of nature, and I need to, you know, I'm trying not to say coexist, but like to be in balance with it, to really like help it flow, you know. And this is the like a data center is the opposite of that. It completely halts like natural cycles. It doesn't stop. It's the epitome of a robot, man. Like totally. It's just like so unnatural.
Doesn't
and
sleep.
And that's one of the things on the special exception is, does this add or take away to the character of the district? And I just want to harp on that. Like, this is not the character of Montana. This is not an industry we want to be anywhere near. And the people pushing these, I mean, I don't want them trying to push anything like this around here. Like, it's just a different way of life.
Yeah.
Just keep that in the cities or on the coast or wherever you want, not here.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like these cities that don't sleep, like New York and Vegas and all these other places, like they're not going to even care if there's an extra thing humming. They won't even notice it. It'll just be like with the same ambient sounds. And that just like makes me wonder. It's like, I don't think anyone's doing a full research on this. Like, is someone studying those Ohio data centers that are already established? Are they affecting bird life? Are they affecting insects? Like, are they affecting plant life? Because that's another thing that I've even noticed around my house. Like, next to the damn router, the plants don't seem to be happy.
No.
And it's like, so what happens around like a big version of that,
Any lamp, any outdoor lamp you leave on 24/7 affects life in some way.
Yeah, light pollution's a real deal. So sound pollution, light pollution?
I mean, it throws off the birds. All the stuff I don't know all that much about, but I know that it's just like, oh yeah, because the sun is supposed to be the only source of life or light, and that's where another light just bounces off of that. So artificial light, honestly, that changed a whole lot of life on Earth once we got into that, and now we're careful with it. But yeah, facilities that don't stop are just somewhat dangerous in that way.
Yeah.
It's just like constant humming and noise and light. It's just definitely, I can't tell you the science. Does something to the bugs, does something to the birds and the bats.
Yeah, bats too, man. Like that's people are trying to ignore those wind farms, like, and how bad they are. I mean, and I I guess I'm just as guilty because I didn't know until recently. And I was doing a study on pollinators because I was going to do an education piece for middle schoolers on pollinators, and of course bats are pollinators. And then I found out, going through the rabbit holes of bats and pollinators, that wind farms are killing like a giant portion of bats every year, like yearly, not like once in a while, like yearly. These wind farms are killing bats. It's like, oh man, like, and no one even knows.
It's just one of those things, and it's like, humans try stuff and they figure out if it works or not. I'm sure the people that thought of windmills and wind farms, they were trying to do something good. But yeah, when you see the effect it has on wildlife, you're like, okay, this is not working with the system that we were given here on Earth. So let's, try something else. But that's another kind of thing, a sentiment that's been expressed with the data center is, oh, well, in Missoula, we have to be compliant with, sourcing our power in a different way. And lots of it's set up to be minimal impact, but at the end of the day, I feel like they're going to find ways and loopholes out of having to do that. They're going to need generators on site. So all this talk of being environmentally friendly and all that, it's just the entire system itself is not friendly to the environment. It's just not set up to be that way. It's set up to guzzle water, evaporate steam into the air and heat, hum, and it needs lighting to help the security guards keep locals from destroying it.
Yeah, exactly. To keep people out. And yeah, man, it's a bad deal. So folks listening, like, do what you can, especially in your own areas, even if you're not in Montana. Like, stay aware, because no one can fight but us. Like we're not anything special, like.
Nope. If I was a good activist, I'd probably try to clean up the ponds near the paper mill because I live like a couple miles from there. But I'm really not. I mean, I'm not a crazy. I'm not bored. We've got a baby due in a couple weeks, and I'm running my own business. I'm honestly, this was highlighted to me because I thought if my utility bill goes up and the gas prices are going up, groceries are going up, I'm like, I'm gonna be really struggling, and I'm already like, being a small business owner, especially in the art world, it's month to month a lot, and it's a struggle. But I'm thankful that I am able to make it work. But the more we're taxed through utilities and all these things because of places like the Cranboo data center, you're just like, this does not make sense for the business owners in Montana, the people trying to survive and hang on to this place that we grew up, because we don't want to be priced out. We don't want to have to leave and go somewhere else because this is what we love and we want our kids to enjoy it. So
Yeah, totally.
so I see this fight as directly fighting for my kids to have a place that's untainted by something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And to tie on that a little bit more too is like one of our biggest revenue streams is tourism. And
Yes.
it's people coming to enjoy the rivers and
Yeah.
the parks and Glacier and Yellowstone Park and Missoula and just by itself because I keep referencing a river runs through it because that was a huge draw. I heard like it really changed how many people decided they wanted to fly fish, and come to Montana. I heard like in the 90s when that movie came out, there was a flood of folks coming to Montana, and I was too young to notice. But I mean, that's, direct effect from a movie that like speaks to people and like why, we're going to pollute that area or damage it or take away from that, like it doesn't make any sense. And it's not to help the Montana economy,
No, it most certainly would hurt it, especially, the fly fishing industry. I've seen lots of comments on the petition from guides, local guides, saying, if the river was affected, if the fish were unhappy, if anything like that, like the balance was off, a lot of people would be out of jobs. A lot less people would be traveling here. I mean, the Clark Fork and the Bitterroot are downstream from the Blackfoot, so this is all. That's the closed loop system is the river, and don't mess with that. And not to mention the music industry with the Kettle House Amphitheater, which is 500 yards away from the first data center that they proposed. This one in the building over there. It's 500 yards, away from the amphitheater. And if that's humming away in that valley with how close those mountains are, like you're gonna hear it once it gets quiet, and it's supposed to be crickets.
Yeah, totally, man.
Like that's there are gonna be so many downstream effects from this that we need to all be aware of, and all put them to it's up to them to prove that that's not going to affect all these things, but they can't prove it because it will. So
exactly.
you're gonna hear radio silence from them on this.
Yeah, so I'm with you, man. Unless they can prove that there's benefits and all these things that are our concerns, and I think most Montanans are concerned about. At least more out, everyone who's out, fan of the outdoors. I think is worried about those things, and if you can't address those concerns and have solutions that are environmentally sound, we don't want it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like I think I can speak for most folks on that one, man. Like, put it somewhere else.
Yeah, everyone that enjoys Montana for what it is and what it has to offer, all the rivers and everything, you're invested in this project, whether you know it or not. And it's going to affect a lot of things. And yeah, like I said, it's happening all at once, all around the state. So we're fighting this one, and I'd love to win and keep them out and become a model for others to say, yeah, it can be done, and this is how we do it, because there's no lack of interest in it right now. That's what I've found.
Yeah.
And just getting people to see that this is the problem and this is how we could put our voice out there and tell them what we really believe and what we want. That's the best, that's the best action we can take right now. And show up for that meeting.
Yeah.
Show up for that July 1st meeting. It's at the Missoula County Courthouse, 6 p.m., I believe. And, I mean...
Yeah, as many people as we can get there as possible. It's,
pack people in and make them... Because these guys are nervous and they're uncomfortable. And, they know that they're trying to kind of trick people into letting this happen and say, well, we had these meetings and you guys didn't show up then, so we went forward with it, and they're gonna play all those games. I just watched endless videos of this happening in other states, and it's just they are packing their rooms out now because people like me have seen things and go, oh yeah, we'll get people together, let's go.
Well, and then you worry about the shell game part of it too, where it's like, well, we're gonna do like a shotgun effect, like we're gonna say we're proposing all these data centers, and then we'll see who's sensitive, right? Like,
True.
know, in the Missoula County, they're pretty sensitive. Maybe not there, but then we go up to, say like Lewis and Clark or wherever, and they're like, wait, not as many people showed up. Like, well, like, hey, we didn't put one in the Blackfoot, so you guys should be happy. It's like, no, I don't want one anywhere, man. Like, a Blackfoot's like my concern because it's in my back door, my backyard. But like, that doesn't mean it's like if it's outside of Great Falls, I'm happy either.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you on that.
Yeah, man.
And I'm a young guy who's just watching the political system on a national level and a state level and going, I don't have a lot of faith in this. I don't even think voting works. I don't think a lot of this stuff I don't think I have any control over it. I'm feeling powerless and kind of like this is all just a game and these people with money do whatever they want. And I watched the Yellowstone Club do what they did and turn that section of Montana into a rich man's playground.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it happen more and more, and I'm so angry about that and frustrated that I do feel powerless. And now I'm at the point where we're doing this, and I'm saying, this is it. This is our test of the system to say, let's put a real effort forward and like try and whatever that looks like, go forward clumsily, but go forward nonetheless.
Yeah.
And honestly, these people on the land use board, they're fully accountable for what's going to happen here. And so, I'm going to see what happens and say, does the system work? And it's up to them to prove, will you listen to the people of Missoula County, or are you going to be the footstool for this tech corporation,
Yeah, totally.
to climb its way, into our state.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't prove corruption, but I just think that this game feels fixed.
Yeah, I think that's the sentiment across the whole nation right now. With like we're talking about the boundary waters and all these other scenarios where it's like, hey man, we probably have more of a voice. The average citizen or just citizens in general have more of a voice now than we ever had in history because we have like this podcast. So we can talk about what we feel and so there's no way like, oh wow, you didn't know. Yeah, oh yeah, no, the message is getting out there. Like I don't have the biggest following in the world, but like Meat Eater does, and they're not happy about stuff like that.
True.
And it's like, like these other huge podcasts that are about the environment as well. Like they're putting their message out there. So it's like, if you didn't see it, it's because you didn't want to see it, or you chose not to, or you did and you just ignored it. The voice of the people is louder than it ever has been. So we need our politicians to listen and do what we the people wish. Like the thing is too, it's like, let's vote. Like that's how we start with this thing. Like that's how these people get in office. Like take a vote on it. Like how many people are for it and how many people are against. As simple as that.
Yeah, true. And I fear putting too much faith in politicians, even when they do claim to be kind of the champion of an issue like this. We just saw this happen with the president, saying I'm a champion of not going to war.
Yeah.
And many examples. I'm not just trying
and I think that's and that ties into something I've been thinking about a lot, and I think a lot of people have, right? Like there's a ton of folks who voted for this administration, like Trump and stuff, and because there was a lot of promises, and it sounded like he was actually hearing what people were talking about, like
right.
The inflation's nuts. People want to be able to afford where they live. They want to be able to afford the gas prices. And, I'm trying to think, like, no wars, right? That's what he was saying, too, right? We're not going to get any more conflicts. We're pulling out everywhere. I'm trying to think, like, some of the other big, like, ticket items that they were selling when they were running this campaign. And none of it seems to be happening. So, I think everyone's super frustrated. Like, even people who voted for Trump are just like, well, what happened, man? Like, you told us you're going to do all these things, and none of it seems to be happening. It's like, so that's where... I agree with you, man, having this like apprehension to having that the fact of our politicians are supposed to be for the people, and it doesn't seem like it, right? For the people, by the people, right? It's kind of like how it goes. We voted them in so that they would like carry our voice, right? They should carry our voice to Washington. They should have our best interests in mind. That's what politicians are supposed to do. So, it's like, why is this boundary waters getting threatened? Why are these data centers going in? Like it's... If you're listening to the people, which you should, that's what you got voted in for. That's what your position is for the people.
Yeah.
Do your job is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is bizarre seeing like the shift of politicians turning into actors getting into politics, and then and then actors becoming more political. You're like, when did you guys switch? Like, the guy, the apprentice, is now the president. It's just like, it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, again, I'm a young guy. I don't know a lot. I'm just observing the world. But if this whole, what happened with this presidency specifically, if that doesn't cause some skepticism in your local government and all government kind of in general, and go, oh wow, they can totally lie, like straight up. And like not just like a white lie, like that was pretty, like a lot of people just voted Trump in to keep America out of war. So that one hurt, and it kind of makes you think, is this just a fixed game? Is this just all charades? And so I try not to go down that road of like, it doesn't do you any good to say nothing matters. But that's why I'm doing this. Just kind of, let's test the waters and observe carefully. Everyone watch what's going to happen. Yeah, man. And pay attention.
And it's important not to give up, man. Like you said, keep fighting the good fight. It's probably more your generation than my generation. I think we're old enough gap between us. That's going to be the ones that really like save us and put us in a good place, right? And like maintain the freedoms that we have and this wonderful country we have and public lands and all the things that we value. But it's up to all of us to keep fighting. I mean, if you're like checking out tomorrow, because you're 100 years old, like your voice matters, everyone's voice matters, and staying together, rising up together, fighting it together is what is going to get things done. It always has and always will be. I mean, that's founding fathers, fought oppression, taxation without representation originally, and fought for freedom, and that's what we just got to keep that fight. It's never ending fight is I guess what I'm trying to say. So just as long as everyone's got that mindset, it's we can keep going, man. It's not a big deal. We'll just keep fighting it, keep opposing these things, man, and they're always going to keep trying. But.
Yeah, no, every step of the way, and don't let them tell you that if you're not a Barmore resident, you can't oppose this, because it doesn't affect you, because everyone is downstream of Barmore, of the Blackfoot, and I mean everyone in this valley, and it's Barmore is where people went to, and it's a historical site, but it's also people that couldn't necessarily afford the housing in Missoula because it went crazy. They went to Barmore, some of them, and they had more affordable housing, and it's one of these sub towns in Montana. I don't know if everyone's aware of, but like a lot of bigger towns and these little sub towns around it, like Whitehall, and it's like, it's just more affordable. It's just a little more out of the way. I personally like that. I kind of think it's a little sanctuary away from the hustle and bustle of town. But it's just the epitome of Montana. These are small town folks. They care about their school and their industry and the people that have, a livelihood around there. And they're, even the property manager at the industrial park, Mike Heisey, he's in a tough spot. He's got to make a decision. He really helped. The town is so directly correlated with the industrial park and how well they're doing. So he is trying to look out for the town. He's trying to bring industry that he believes will be profitable for them at minimal cost. Unfortunately, he's wrong about that for including a data center in that equation. It's just a no-go. And I don't think he's being deliberately deceptive, but he's working with deceptive people that are trying to convince this town that it's not a big deal.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, it's no worries, Yeah, that's how it always goes, right? And then, like you said, and maybe it isn't for the first year, and then all of a sudden they expand a little bit, and then it just, grows into this thing, and that's how it all works, my friend. Well, man, I really appreciate you taking your time, and if you want to give like a shout out to, some of your personal stuff, I mean, you got 2 pieces of artwork up at the Missoula Airport.
Yes, sir.
Did we talk about the beginning?
I think we mentioned it. Yeah, go check out Missoula Airport between ticketing and baggage. Sweet wall that Destination Missoula put up. Collaboration between a few artists, myself included. I got commissioned to do a bitterroot sculpture and a cutthroat trout sculpture. They were both super experimental on my part. I had never done something like that before. Super fun. I used copper and steel, and Yeah, it's an honor to do the state fish and state flower. It was just so cool, and now people can enjoy it every day. So
Yeah, and to
check
tag
that
on
out.
that just a minute, like the trout. You said it was a cutthroat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cutthroat trout. And then a bull was in my head because they're like so sensitive with the
Bull trout and the Blackfoot. That's
yeah,
a good
exactly.
point.
So like that, they were kind of in my head this whole episode.
Yeah.
But that cutthroat, dude, like, and the cool thing, I mean, that thing looks amazing. They both look incredible.
Thanks,
But
man.
I'd only seen your flies, like your big flies, which are also beautiful.
Yeah.
And so like the flowers seem to be similar to some of the sculptures you had made in the past that I'd seen, but gorgeous. And then to see the cutthroat is just a little, it's kind of the opposite end of things, almost a little bit like smooth side,
Yeah.
and like, the movement of it too. It's very lifelike. It's super cool, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea behind that was I was somewhat trained in lost wax bronze casting. But I didn't get into bronze that much. It's pretty expensive up front to get something cast and everything. So
Yeah.
I work with all scrap metal and whatnot. But yeah, that trout I made the skeleton basically of the trout out of steel, and then just started cold forging a copper sheet, little pieces, and I'd put piece by piece on as a skin, welded on, and I had never made something like that before. I didn't know if it was gonna work, but it worked out beautifully. It was super fun, and then it was all natural colors besides the spackles and the slash on his throat. Um, it was all patina, so it's just copper rust, and it made a deep green, and I sealed it there, and it was a super fun piece to work on, and I put a lot of time into that just because I knew, it's probably gonna outlast me, and people will enjoy it for a long time. So it's super cool.
And that's the beauty of art, right, man? Is like
Yeah.
something that outlive you, but that still you have still is yours, and a thing that people remember you by, and a contribution, to an area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to me, man. I appreciate artwork so much, mostly because I can't do it. I mean, even your ability to sculpt with metal, which is, it's a hard medium to work with, and it's incredible. Like the way you did the roots of those bitterroot flowers, right?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, incredible. Like
Thank you.
it looks so awesome, man. So lifelike.
That was the bitterroot was really entertaining to work on because I knew I had a couple concepts in my mind I had thought of for years. I never implemented them, but one of them was a spray arc transfer. And so what I did was I framed up the root system, and then I wrapped it in forged steel. So I'd heat it up and kind of wrap it and keep working it like that. And then the spray arc transfer was getting, and this is like a trade secret I'm giving out, but I already made a video of it.
I was gonna say you don't have to do it.
No, I had scrap copper strips, and so I got my plasma torch, and then I would just like hit the top of it, and it sprays it, because when you cut through with a plasma torch, it's like compressed air and an arc, and so you're liquefying metal and then spraying it away. So doing that with copper near those coils where it could really pack in, it sprayed it all over, and it packed in just like dirt. And so then I got like a little bit of an acid mixture and kind of darkened some of it, but then kept some of the shiny spots. So yeah, I was really proud of that process, like pulling it off the first time, because I was like, total experiment. I don't know if this is gonna work, but it worked out. And yeah, the root was the main focus on that sculpture, because I'd seen other bitterroot like paintings and stuff, and it's like they make the flowers huge, and then the roots are just whatever. And I'm like, the whole point of the thing is like, yeah, they're pretty flowers, but you can eat this, and it's like a superfood, the root, and so I really wanted to focus on that and the anatomy of it. So
that's a good point, because I didn't even think about it that way, dude. I was just like captivated by that root, because like I was wondering, I'm like, man, how do you make that thing look so real? I was like, dude,
thank you. That's the biggest compliment you give me, is like making metal look lifelike and organic is like the kind of my goal all the time, is like
and still beautiful, right? Like it's not just like dirt's a little bit plain looking, and you pull up something by the root, like you're not like, wow, that's the most beautiful thing I've seen. But like you making something that looks real and beautiful, it's like, that's incredible, my friend.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I do want to give a shout out to Reagan Mason for promoting the petition. He's my like top promoter right now. He's the guy I was telling you about at Maggot Fest going around, and he's the man. Tyler Keene for getting us linked up. Tyler's super supportive. He's been putting the petition on blast as well.
Oh, great, man.
And
great guy.
And then my wife, also named Tyler, Tyler Barmore, she is a biggest supporter, and everything I write is proofread and edited by her, so everyone can thank her for decent grammar and everything I write.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, dude, like there's that old saying that there's behind every great man is a great woman, and it's so true, man. Like I'm the voice of the podcast, but like a lot of the brainstorm sessions and thoughts, and like even some of the guests are funneled through my wife too, is like a checks and balance system, because I'm excited to talk to anybody. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. And she's like, but why? Sometimes, or she'll be like, yeah, that'd be good, but make sure you ask him about this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. I should ask him about that. That's a good question. Or something like that. Like getting that outside input. That is so huge, and not having just like an echo chamber, so lucky I don't have that, because that's easy to do. The echo chamber is super comfortable.
I could not do it alone. I feel like half the time I'm like, this is crazy, I can't say this, and she's like, yeah, you're okay, and I'm like, sweet. Sometimes it's just like, and then other times she's like, yeah, don't send that one, don't say that. And totally. It's like so nice to have checks and balances, someone who's like a little bit of an extra filter, or like or an encourager to be like more, so having a good woman, man, that makes the equation complete for sure, and I would not be successful otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's huge, dude. It's one of the big pieces of the puzzle, right? Like it's all this comes together from like a bunch of little things, right? Or even a couple of big things. And, having a good partner, like you said, is one of the big things. And even for me, like I gave a speech, I did a Q&A after the 13 Crosses Man Gulch documentary.
Yes, yeah.
And I had a couple different openers, and one of them was like real bad. And I kind of thought so, but I was like, I mean, it's corny in a funny way. And she's like, that's just bad in a bad way. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And then I tried on somebody else, and they said the same thing. And I was like, yeah, she was right, for sure. That's not good, but you need that, because otherwise, if like you just, think everything that you do is great all the time, it's probably not,
No, it can't be.
No, it can't. Yeah, I don't think it's impossible, man. Like, you need somebody who's like, seen it through, their eyes, and not like a cheerleader per se,
Right. Not a yes man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know who said this, someone smarter than me, but no one is self-made. Like, it's 100%. Just, you're an accumulation of all these experiences, but also people that have poured into you and given you an opportunity and let you, they took a chance on you to do something. And it's good to look back and recognize that, and then also recognize that, there's opportunities in front of you all the time. So
absolutely,
just
man.
Super thankful for all the people in my life. Shout out to Dad. Thanks, Dad. My mom, super supportive as well. I'm an artist because of her.
That's huge, man.
So just super awesome people behind me.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You need that, right? That support to bet on yourself, because it's, unless you're a super narcissist, it's very hard, because you're like, well, I'm not doing anything special. That's, I think most people who are doing something feel that way. They're like, anyone could sit behind, sit in this Airstream and do the same thing, or, pick up a torch and do the same thing. It's like, but the reality is, no, they don't have the same experiences that we have, Yeah. And not that I'm anything great. I mean, I'm not like, Joe Rogan over here, but
But it's something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something unique. And I definitely felt like kind of timid of like, wow, what gives me the right to like put my voice out there and do that? And I'm like, nobody else has it. And so it's just like, put it out there, and it's like, you don't have to think it's going to be great. You're just doing it to put your voice out there and say, this is what I think.
Totally. Yeah. And that's kind of the start too. It's like, just, like, no one else really doing it, and I had stories that weren't getting told, not my stories, other people, that I've met along the way, my journey, that were like, damn, more people need to hear this. That's a pretty incredible story, and no one else knows these people, or we're reaching out to interview them. So,
that's cool, man.
Get the motivation to do it.
That's a cool mission. I'm glad you're out there doing it too, because someone does need to find, especially in this area too, I don't know any other podcasters, so
Yeah, and that's kind of the draw for it too was like that kind of thing where like I told the story a few times, so apologies for folks who've heard it, but like we lost a few folks in the jump world when I was jumping, and some pillars, Margarita Phillips and Ed Lynn were the two big ones that were in my life, and I was roaming around. I remember thinking like, man, someone should have got their stories, someone should have like started a podcast, and like no one was interested, I just kept bugging people. Like I think everyone I ran to for a little bit in the wildland scene. We're like, yeah, I don't know. And so finally I was like, maybe I should do it, and then it just like festered in my brain for a long ass time. I mean, like a couple of years before I actually finally did this thing, because I was like, I don't know, there's someone kind of, and also the thought like someone better is going to show up,
Right.
someone's more gifted, who's, more articulate, has, more education, whatever it might be, maybe they're a wildlife biologist or something with fire background, like whatever it might be, like, and, just comes down to like, no, it's you, it's like, you're the person to do it because you got the energy, you got the drive, the want, and that's, and maybe the patience. I don't know. But like with you, I mean, like all that stuff, right? Like, I mean, you just gave away all your secrets, but no one was something that I know of was doing that kind of artwork, like.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know until you try something new, and that's actually why I keep doing metal artwork, because it's like you get to experiment. That's what I have to stay entertained. I get bored super easy. So if I'm not entertained doing what I'm doing, it's like, it's not that it has to be all play and no work, but I'm always, every sculpture, I'm like, let me try something just a little bit different and see what happens. And then always, again, having a plan for if it goes haywire. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, I bet, man. Especially like getting commissioned and stuff like that too.
Yeah. I mean, I just got done with a huge royal wolf going to Thompson Falls. It's awesome. It was super fun to make, but I use steel in some parts where I usually use copper, and I'm like, it's gonna look so cool. It's different contrast, and it made it super heavy. So this thing is like pretty heavy duty, but we got a really burly bracket it's gonna bolt onto a rock with, so should be fine. We'll find out. I'll get back to you on that, but no, it should be fine. It's a sweet sculpture.
Oh, that's cool, man. And trusting yourself on that too, like, maybe try this route this time, that's huge, man. And that's growth. That's where like growth is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like growing as an artist and as a person. I mean, like diving on this, like you're not some environmentalist activist person, but you're like, dude, this shit matters to me, so I'm gonna get involved.
Yeah, and I have the freedom to do so. We live in America. We get to do this. I get to run a business. That's incredible. Like that's all I've ever wanted to do, and that's no small thing. Like that I just get to go out and do it. But then this same thing, I'm like, use my business to do it. Like who's stopping me? Because it doesn't. It's not even political. Like that. What's his name in Wisconsin said this issue with data centers is as bipartisan as beer. It's like no one is taking this at an angle of like left versus right. This is the people versus the corporations. This is the outfitters and the guides and the fishermen, everyone who enjoys the rivers, anyone who floats it. It's like, do you want to float in glycol or fresh river water?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, man, it's a unifying thing, and I'm honestly very proud to be part of it. And I don't take any credit for being like the face of this or anything. I'm just putting it out there so that people can latch on and like move forward with this. So I'm just trying to be a resource for the community. And, I'm hoping to, we're going to see what happens. So if it's good or bad, we don't know yet, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, I appreciate all the work you're doing, man, and putting time into this. Like you said, you got a lot going on, man. So it's, I thank you a lot, man. And thank you for coming on. And what'd you say, July 21st?
July 1st for the meeting.
Sorry. July 1st.
July 1st. Check out the Missoula Voice page. They got the Bonner Data Center project up there, and they are keeping that updated. So that's the best, most official source of information. But yeah, follow the petition and updates on that, and I'll try to get more info out there and just keep people updated.
Yeah, and probably a good place to follow would be like maybe your Instagram for some of the updates, right?
Yeah, Instagram at Big Sky Flies, and then the petition is on change.org. Again, just plug in Reject AI Data Center in Bonner, Montana. That's the title. And then, go through the comment section there and on Missoula Voice. It's incredible. Put your own comment in there, put your opinion, everything. It's like more the better, because we need to put it on blast that people care about it.
Yeah,
And,
man.
And yeah, I think
We're stronger together. You know,
we're stronger together. Absolutely.
awesome, man. Well, Paul, thank you so much for coming on, dude. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Do
thanks.
good work.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Appreciate you.
Peace.